Hi, Adam Winch here with Defenders USA. Hey, I had an interesting question posed to me yesterday, and it caused a lot of thought throughout the rest of the day. So there was a lady who had signed up for a Defender series that I'll be running in March down in Texas in the North Fort Worth area. A Defender series I'm running for that weekend. Um, and this lady is the facilitator head or the head of a Girl and a Gun chapter down in a town in Texas. So as we're talking back and forth, because she's coming to the course, she asked a question I thought was pretty in depth by the time I thought it all through. And her text message or her question was, how do you motivate your students and how do you help them stay motivated for their own training? I thought it was a really good question. Now, at the time, just in the spirit of having fun, I text back something to the effect that I beat them with sticks. I scream and yell and, you know, insult their mothers and, I ignore their cries of mercy and their tears and, that type of thing. Told her that would do the trick. But it was just in joke. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's actually a really good question. So here's what I responded. I'm going to read it off to you just so I don't mess it up. But then my intent here is to ask for your thoughts on this from other instructors out there, or even those you've been to courses, whether you found them good or bad, and kind of what you thought about the answer to that question was. So here's how I responded. Honestly, you can only show that you care about them individually, about their understanding of what's best for them, of their skill set that you're trying to guide into them, and by how you live your own life in their eyes. If they see you care and do your darndest for them with what you can teach them, that's all you can do. From there, they have to care enough on their own to have their own context and purpose for their own training. They have to be their own motivator based on their own values, morals, work ethic, or their own experiences. You can't control them. You can only be your best to inspire them. They have to do the rest. Right, I think that we as instructors, right, if you're going to be teaching other people, especially in this high risk, high liability endeavor of using firearms or other type of defensive tools, if you're not in it because you actually care about imparting your skill set, your expertise into other people because you care for their own safety, then I would suggest you're probably in it for the wrong reasons. Maybe you're there just to make money or to be cool, and you're there for the wrong reasons. But if you actually earnestly care about your fellow human being and you believe what you have can truly help make people better and you care about that, that's important. But I think too, you got to care about them individually, right? You've got to, though you may have never have met the people that are showing up on your range in your classroom or wherever it is you teach, if you don't have a general love for your fellow human being, then again, maybe you're in the wrong profession as an instructor. And to that extent, I think that for myself, for a lot of those who work with us here in Defenders, we want to know why they're there, right? What are you here for? And what's important to you? And then from there, figure out how we can best impart the messages or the skill set into them they need to. And because we care, it's been so interesting over the years that as I've dealt with students, that so often the story of why they're there comes out, right? You see the tears well up as somebody mentally revisits the horrible experience they went to becoming a victim of crime that motivated them to come to this training, right? You can literally see almost the thoughts of the terrible rape they went through, or somebody they know that's close to them went through, or the terrible assault that they or maybe one of their close family members, close friends had gone through, and that woke them up to their need to learn defensive skills, or their own, maybe their own moral code that somehow pushed them to realize, okay, I need to do more than just buy a gun. I need to get actual defensive training that's realistic, all that stuff, right? You need to, it's so interesting to find out their context and where they're coming from. And it's always sad to see the tears as they start to come at the range as they relive it. It's also heartening to see that they survived it and they've pushed past the victimhood of this to now no longer ever let themselves be a victim of that if they ever have to. And I think that when you care like that, other people sense the caring spirit that you have, and they now open up to you more and they allow you to help them and if you do that well, you can motivate them too. Furthermore, I think that our students need to know that we care enough about the skill set that we're teaching that we're always seeking out more skills ourselves, right? I've been on a journey, it seems, most of my adult life to learn and learn and learn and update my learning. I was the guy in the police world, the military world, that I was always trying to put in for some type of training somewhere, try to go to training somewhere to learn more. As a civilian now, and as a trainer myself, I'm constantly paying way too much money to go way too far across this land to try to learn from the very best of the best as I can to keep my skills fresh and updated. And I know that other guys and defenders are doing the same type of things to learn as best we can. And if you care enough about the skill set that you're trying to teach people, that you'll go out and work hard to elevate that skill set and to refine that skill set and learn new and see more efficient, effective, become expert at it, and then also how to communicate that to others. I think that type of care also communicates to your students and helps grow them too. I think too that you got to live the life that's a motivating life to them. Right now, this is a hard one for all of us because, I mean, we're humans, and as a Christian or a believer in God's Word, I think we all have a sin nature, and we all make mistakes. Some of us tragically terrible mistakes, right? And I mean, we all have that in our lives. And yet, when you fail or mess up, whether it's gun related or not, that's something to face and to fix. And I know that's a hard thing to do, but I mean, the more you live your life as good and level as possible, and then when you mess up so badly, go to fix that. When you build that good, righteous, clean heart, I think that too communicates to people that there's a good heart that wants to do right in all areas, not just be a good instructor, not just care about your students, but you care about how you live your own life and what you do. So I'm the last person in the world to be given moral advice on anything, but I think that's a part of it. And then from there on out, I think it's our students' obligation to have their own purpose or reason, right? If they're just coming because they want to be the gun guy, the gun girl, and be all cool, fine. But when people have a true purpose, I want to defend my family. I was the victim of this and I never want to be that again. You know, I carry this gun, therefore I have a legal, ethical, and moral obligation to be as good with this as I possibly can without getting crazy, right? But at the same time, spending the amount of time to deal with these weapons and to understand the law and to know how to use them efficiently, right? When they have that moral responsibility to do so, I mean, they've created their own purpose there. So the students have just as much obligation to have context and purpose behind their commitment to training as you do to your commitment to be as good for yourself as you can be. Portray that to them, show them the excellence, grow your own training. You know, I mean, it's all part of the equation here. You know, because you can't control your students, right? They have to have their own motivation. We'll do our best for them. But they, I believe, have to be their own inspiration, and then we add to it what we can through how we teach and how we present, and then how we even train ourselves and portray ourselves. So that may be a very roundabout way to answer the question, but I'm curious what you guys think too, right? I'm always looking for ways to better what we do or to learn from others if possible. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Instructors, please chime in. Students, if you've been through one or you thought that was really good, this was really bad, whatever it is, in other courses or even ours, I'd love to hear that. And because I know there's a lot of people like this lady with a girl and a gun, a facilitator head, who wants to be a motivator and be an inspiration to the folks that are in her chapter and those she teach. And I know we do too. So it'd be nice to hear this conversation. Feel free to comment, like, share. Would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. But I thought it was a really good in-depth question and a good one to just address and just a way to keep the conversation going. All right, Adam Winch, Defenders USA, you guys take care and seek out good, thoughtful training. By the way, we do that, right? All sorts of handgun training or firearms training. But I'm also blessed to know a ton of really good firearm trainers across the U.S. So if you can't or unable to come to some of our training, feel free to give me a call. Contact me, send me an email, something, and I'll point you towards some of the very best firearms trainers out there and other defensive trainers that are out there, because honestly, I want you to get good training with us or other people. I think training in the defensive life is a moral responsibility we all have as defenders, and I'd like to get you to people you'll go to. Thanks. Take care and be safe.